And today we are going to dwell on ethics, which refers to the moral principles of knowing good and bad. And why should we have this in this particular college today? We should have it in this college today because we are governed by our characters. We should know the principles of decision making to know between what is good and bad for us. And then we extend this particular experience to our lives afterwards when we become something in our lives. For example, if you are an IAS officer or an IPS officer, this will help us to make decisions there correctly. And therefore, to dwell on this particular, principles, we have this particular, ping for IAS, which is called Producing India's Next Generation for IAS. And I'm very happy that you have accepted this particular, activity. And our KP sir came up with this activity to say that all of us must understand the principles of ethics because in the academics you have finished ethics as well. And to take it forward, we were having this particular question, how to take this, ahead. So therefore, we had Neha Thakur, one of your member, okay, who said, sir, I will take it up. And she said, I will be a director for this, okay. Can I ask you to come here, please? And then from the boys' side, we have Chandravamsi. Is he here? Chandravamsi? Yes, please come forward. They came forward to take this ahead. Yes, and academically, if you do not have people to give us this opportunity, it will not go ahead. Yeah, so we have Varun sir. Yes, who has given us an opportunity to do this. Let's give him a big round of applause. And to discuss this on this particular panel, we have, please sit down. We have Manjusha. Yes, she is one of the panelists. You can come forward, take your place here. Yeah, let's give her a big round of applause, please. Yeah. We have Haindavi from degree third year, once again, who has come forward to be a panelist. Then we have Kashyap. May I welcome you onto the panel, please. Then we have Mohan from degree third year, once again. Yes. Now, these panelists are one among you, okay? And you have finished your course on ethics. And here they are as experts now. We are giving them a topic and then they have prepared themselves for this particular, panel here to take this thing forward. We have our own KP sir, the head of the family, who will be also speaking to you once the panelists have spoken. Sir will, as an expert, will explain to us the intricacies and principles of ethics, how a particular scenario will be used and how you got to get used to this particular scenario and think positively and think ethically with your integrity keeping intact. So let's go ahead and I'll just tell you the procedure of it. Ethics works only in scenarios in context. So we pulled out a few context scenarios from everyday life, okay? And since you're going to be big officers tomorrow, we have picked up a scenario and that scenario will be given to you. And each panelist, okay, will be speaking about 1 minute about that particular scenario, 1.5 minutes, not more than 2 minutes, okay? After 2 minutes, you will be asked to stop, okay? And then like this, all the 4 panelists will speak on the same scenario. And then, sir, as a specialist, will speak about it and say where we went wrong and where we have to regulate ourselves in thinking positively and thinking with integrity intact, okay? So let's go ahead. Shall we? Okay. Sir, shall we go ahead?
Yeah, before you start, I have few suggestions to you. As I always tell you that common sense ethics is different. Ethics for the civil service is different. Second thing, the objective of this program is not only enabling you to answer the questions in the paper 4 of the general studies, but also to answer in the interview. Because when you go to the interview, at least there will be 2 questions based on the situational reaction. So when the questions are situational reaction, you are supposed to answer that question in a span of 45 seconds to 90 seconds, not more than 2 minutes. So your answer has to be crisp and your answer has to be scientific. It should be according to the law. It should not be illegal. Your answer should not be illegal. You should not support any common sense perspectives. So keeping these things in view, let's begin the activity on ethics that is titled as PING. The objective of this program is producing India's next generation for the IAS. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And here comes your scenario, okay? And we all know that about Mr. Vijay Mallya. Yeah? Everybody is aware of Vijay Mallya, the panelist? Yeah? We know that Vijay Mallya has stolen 9,000 crores, okay, from the Indian government. And then he has fled to UK. And now this from Vijay Mallya, there was a thief, a man, who stole, say, 1,000 crores from him. Okay? And then this particular person opened up schools, opened up colleges, opened up rehabilitation centers. Okay? And then he came up with some KG to PG educational centers. Okay? And then after a few investigations, he was caught. And then the court, was going on, and then people were saying he should not be punished. He should not be punished. Now you, okay, as an IAS aspirant, or if you are an IAS, okay, what would you do in this particular scenario? Whether you would go ahead with punishing him or not. If not, why? If yes, why? Okay? Not leaving your ethics and your integrity. So can you respond? We'll start with Vaishnavi. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for posing such a thought-provoking question. Actually, this is the conflict of ideology, deontology versus utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is something that advocates for greater good for greater number, but deontology is something duty approach. It should be ethical in nature, no matter the end that we are focusing on. Here comes the conflict between the ideas of means should justify the end justifies the means. For example, I would like to come up with an example where if at all a doctor performs illegal trials on a patient without his consent, illegal trials of drugs, even if that illegal trials resulted in something innovative drug that saves lives of many people, but without taking the consent that has been that illegal trail has been done. So even if the even if the end is very beneficial in nature, that means it saves lives of many people, but the means is wrong. So ethically we shouldn't advocate for such kind of things, because even if Vijay Mallya's what he theft 900 crores has been again theft by somebody, and it has been utilized for some social purpose, but it won't justify the deontological approach. So I would rather take action on Vijay Mallya. Again, I would also ensure that some schools have been started by someone who has theft that. I would also ensure that schools also continue with the government support, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful question. But I think my friend Manjusha has actually summarized everything. But I would like to add a few points. Like in terms of philosophy, everything is right. It is a utilitarianism versus deontological approach, conflict between them. So here in this scenario, I would again support the work which he has done, but the way he did was wrong. His means were not right, the way he did. So I would condemn them as he did it against the law. At the same time, as he has done a good beneficial work, that is the Robin Hood work, in terms of, as KP sir mentioned, in terms of civilian ethics it is right, but in terms of the actual ethics it is wrong, because he has violated the moral duty or the deontology. He has violated it against it. So on one hand, I would appreciate the work which he has done, that is building public schools and public works and everything. But at the same time, I would condemn him because he's going against the law, and he did all this. And also, stealing is also wrong. Though Vijay Mallya has done and he has done the theft, again stealing from him. Stealing itself, the concept, the virtue itself is wrong. So I would condemn against it. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So there's nothing much to speak. Already our friends have summarized everything and given correct examples like Robin Hood ethics. And I would like to add that Sir said the public is public are supporting that person who has steal that money from Vijay Mallya. So justice will not be based on the public opinion or public force. It would be based on the law which the constitution upholds. So the what that man has made, building schools or anything, it is good, but the way he has the act of stealing is unethical, even if it is done for a good purpose. So he should be punished according to the law of land. And
Nothing to speak about this. Already our friends have spoke almost. But in Telugu, I have seen a movie called Tiger Nageshwara. The same story. Stealing money from rich persons and giving to poor or helping poor. It is also known as Robin Hood ethics. But he did is wrong, so he should be punished.
Picture in the Instagram is circulated by some people. He is an Algerian hacker named Hamza. So this is Hamza Bendes hacked 217 banks and made 4,000 million US dollars. And he donated everything to the people in the African and Palestinian, and he was executed with a smile. Actually, this was a fake picture. This incident happened, in reality it happened in the year 2015. From Algeria, he was extradited to America, and American government imposed him 10 years imprisonment, and recently he was released. And after his release, this picture was in circulation. This was a different picture actually. So this story is more or less similar to Kick, and also similar to Kondaviti Donga. And as he said, it is also similar to Tiger Nageshwara. So the scenario is based on this particular incident, like a case study kind of thing. So Vijay Mallya took a debt of 9,000 crores from the banks in India, and he left to UK. Then a thief stolen 1,000 crores from Vijay Mallya's bank accounts through hacking network. And he contributed this amount to build super special hospitals and KG to PG educational institutions in 100 cities in the country for the benefit of the underprivileged. Then a few years later, he was caught by the police with all the proofs against him, and people protested his detention and the punishment. So the question is, should he be punished? If yes, why? And if not, why not? What are the ethical and legal issues involved? Though this last sentence is not added, you must answer from this perspective also. Not only from the utilitarian, deontological perspectives of the philosophy, you should also add the legal perspective. So what are the legal issues involved apart from the ethical issues? So legal issues are based on two things. From the BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, section 303, prohibits stealing anything from anybody, which will attract a minimum punishment of 3 years. Minimum punishment of 3 years. And there is also a money laundering issue in this process, because he was stolen, the money was stolen, 1,000 crores is stolen from banks and is being used for the construction of certain buildings. So this is also need to be understood from the point of view of Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. This is the legal issue. And there are ethical concerns, as you have suggested, like Robin Hood ethics is never to be accepted. It should not be accepted at all under any So though you steal from the rich and give this amount to the poor people, that is not acceptable under any circumstances, neither ethically nor legally. So the opposition to the execution of Robin Hood will be opposed only by those who benefited from him. Suppose in Mumbai, Dharavi, there is a place called Dharavi, and 90% of the people living in this Dharavi are working for Dawood Ibrahim. And if there is any attempt to catch this kind of illegal activities, or if the police have made any attempt to catch this kind of criminals, the people around that area will oppose it. But as a society at large, do we accept such kind of terrorist activities? So the stealings from someone is nothing less than terrorism. So the governance issues are also involved in this. So what are the governance issues? Not only the utilitarian and deontological aspect, there are also governance issues. One is there is no accountability for what he was, for the money that he has earned. And there is lack of transparency how he has spent that money. There is no transparency at all. And there is no proper selection of the beneficiary. He is stealing from the rich and distributing to the poor people. And how he is selecting the poor people? There is no procedure. Was he seeing any Aadhaar card? Or was he checking any ration card to select the poor people to distribute this money? Or just he is spreading the money? So there is no question of selection of the beneficiary in this. So these are the things that you are supposed to consider apart from this utilitarian perspective and the deontological perspective. From any philosophical point of view, you can support your answer. But whenever you are giving the answer, you should go beyond the philosophy and you should refer the law related to that particular incident. You should also quote from even the civil service conduct rules if required. You may also quote from the Constitution of India. So there are the multiple perspectives that you are supposed to take into consideration.
Thank you so much, sir. And if you have understood it, sir has spoken to us about legal implications, okay? And we need to consider the legal implications as well when you're speaking about philosophical as well. Yes, it's important, but legal is very important. And that's what you're going to, safeguard when you become IAS, IPS officers. Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's time for us to get on to the next scenario. Now, it's about ourselves, young people. Now, there was a young people, and just imagine the panelists, you are an IAS officer in Nizamabad, okay? And you have married another IAS officer who is in Mahbub Nagar. You are working, but you're alone. So you have bought one particular robo, okay? Let's put the name Samantha for the robo, and then you, for your communications and the time pass, okay? And then you have emotionally fallen in love with the robo, and after some time, you want to marry the robo now, because you are so much connected and attached to this particular robo. So now, in this particular scenario, okay, what are the legal implications and also ethical implications? So I would love Kashyap to respond to it first.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this thought-provoking question. First of all, I love my life. I love my wife, and no matter how emotionally connected I'm with that robo, I still love my wife, no matter where she is. And second thing is, in the present scenario, we could see that the more usage of AI and the more usage of robo is increasing day by day. So even not only children but also adults are getting emotionally connected with this robo. So this over consumerism and over materialism has to be managed properly. And personally, because of if you see the core issue of this, because of the technological reforms which are present in the situation, it has actually impacted the traditional values, where we love humans, and now this human connection is actually shifted to the robos. So personally, I would always, no matter how emotionally connected I'm with that, obviously the human connection, the human nature is more powerful than this, because humans are the ones who have created machines, right? So I would maintain that human connection, no matter how much
Yes,
AIS influences that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So the next, Handavi, I would like you to dwell on legal implications. Okay, let's say the robo is a man now. Okay, Samantha, Sam.
Yes.
The robo is Sam. Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir. This particular situation, it is personal, but it is personal matter of that man to marry. But when coming to the society, nothing is personal. Personal is political according to the theories of political sense. Nothing is personal. So when you are coming, when he decided to marry a robo, the law, basically when we see in India, the legal system, the marriage says that the marriage is between a man and a woman. So when he's marrying a robo, the law does not mention anything related to the marriage between a man and a robo. So when he want to take further any like divorce or any property issues with that robo, the law does not mention that. So it would be the conflict with the law. And the social acceptance is also required in this. So the society as a whole should also like they should also think that marrying a robo should be the societal acceptance must be there in this situation. So if the social acceptance is there, and if the legislature upholds this and make laws on this, then he can go further in this situation. Without law and without any legislation on this matter, he cannot do that, sir. Thank you.
Very good. Let's give her a big round of applause. Yeah. Next we have Mohan. Yeah.
In India, the marriages are accepted. It is a civil issue. It is mentioned in civil code. Where different type of civil codes are present for Hindus and Muslims. They are different. For Muslims, they are having 4 wives as a condition, and for others, for intercaste or interreligious marriages, they have act called Special Marriage Act. In this act, they only accept marriages between a man and woman, but marrying a robo is a legal issue. It is cannot be acceptable in the society, and same issue. This law should be made on this, or so that everyone in the society will accept. That's
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mohan. Manjusha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a question. And from the day that human has come into existence, there is no such thing called, there were interreligious marriages, intercaste marriages, or same-sex marriages, but is no such thing called human marrying someone other beyond our boundary. This is something, sir. They say, there is a saying that human is a social animal. They need some company. They need some they need some kind of emotional attachment in order to sustain, in order to have a peaceful living. But sir, present day AI, I don't know what happens in the future, but the present day AI lacks emotions. It lacks creativity. Creativity is something up to the human. Creativity cannot be inculcated by the AI and robotics. And what I feel, sir, the sole reason or the one of the reason for marriage is reproduction. Reproduction can't be happen by marrying robots and all. And up to now, our constitution didn't upheld this thing. Sir, up to now, constitution didn't upheld same-sex marriages. That's why we treat it as illegal. Same goes with marrying robots. Until or unless constitution won't upheld it, law won't upheld it, it can be treated as illegal. And sir, we should be very cautious in nature that AI should be something human AI collaborative approach should be there, but AI should never replace humans. Then that would be end for humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for all of them, for 4 of them. So we'll have Sir speak now.
So this scenario is given in the context of this particular aspect. I have seen this pic, like a robotic girlfriend to Elon Musk. And There was a Bollywood movie, Teri Baaton Mein Ulja Jiya. Recently, this lady is actually a robot, and the hero falls in love with that lady robot, in fact. And at 2013 Hollywood movie, her name is Samantha, not the Telugu cinema star Samantha. So in this scenario, I have named this robot as Samantha. So you are a collector of Nizamabad district, and you have married another IAS officer who is working as a district collector in Mehboob Nagar. So geographically, they are very far away. So there may not be a regular connection between the wife and husband. You brought a female AI robot for time pass conversation, just for time pass conversation, because today robots are available at a very cheaper cost. And over a period of time, you developed emotional connection with the robot. You fell in love with it, like the hero in this Teri Baaton Mein. You have decided to marry the robot. So the issue is whether to marry or not is important. The issue is whether it is legally correct, ethically right. So what are the ethical implications? So an ethical dilemma has arisen. That is, what is morally right, not necessarily ethically right, and legally correct. It need not be legally correct. So you are supposed to here quote some legalities, as he quoted, like Special Marriage Act. Special Marriage Act is about intercaste marriages, interreligious marriages. Then Hindu Marriage Act prescribes the rules of marriage among the Hindus. And the 1968 All India Service Conduct Rules, rule number 8. So because neither Special Marriage Act nor Hindu Marriage Act supports bigamy. There is no question of bigamy in the marriage legal system in India. Similarly, All India Service Conduct Rules rule number 8 also prohibits bigamy for a civil servant, particularly which is related to the All India Service IAS officers. And what are the ethical issues involved? As she referred to this, there is no social acceptance for this kind of marriages. Neither family accepts it, even if it is a first marriage, family never accepts it. And this person wanted to get it second marriage. So it is not at all acceptable, socially completely prohibited. And there is a question of humanity, because if you have to love, there are people to love. If you have to have an affection, you can have the human beings to show your affection. You need not fall in love with the machines. However emotional that humanoid robot may be, humanoid robot is a robot with human emotions. It will be taught, only the emotions are taught to the machine, but still you are loving a machine. Loving a machine is not at all acceptable. Love people and love also the machines to keep them safe, that's all, not to fall in love with them. Because you can fall asleep, you don't have to fall in love. So this is the ethical and legal concerns that you have to quote in your answers. So basically, in this chapter, particular first chapter, a role of family in inculcating the values. But when the joint family system is broken, gradually people are losing touch of these emotions. And the joint family became the nuclear family becomes a single family members. And as a result, what happens is, this kind of situations will arise. Even today also in the newspaper, there was a news about how during the a particular program is being held in a birthday function. The people, the ancestors who did, they are brought in the form of an artificial intelligence, and it is being shown in a video kind of thing as if they are having meal with the other members of the family. So such kind of incidents are not only emotional, make the people emotionally weak, but also they may transform the human beings into machines as well. So therefore, loving a machine should be limited only to the extent, to what extent that we use it for the benefit of us. Similar to, just like a mobile phone. As of now, we are loving the mobile phone more than the human beings. So you can easily fall in love with the mobile phone. You have to use the phone, but phone should not use you. Keep that in mind. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's give sir a big round of applause. And I understand now these are the questions being asked in our interviews and also in your when you're answering your mains as well. So keep this in mind. It's a learning process for all of us. Okay. Now the third scenario we will start with Aindavi. Okay. A middle class family. Okay. The middle class family. The father works very hard, and ask this, he gets into his child admitted into a B.Tech college, okay, and then he studies B.Tech, and then on the campus interview, he gets selected and is asked to go to US for a job, but the child does not like, son does not like, but the father persuades him and said, please go, your life will be better, and then out of lot of persuadance, the son accepts and goes to US, and there he is working. Okay, he works very hard, and after some time he gets married and lives there. And obviously after marriage, he gets a son is born, a child is born, and then to take care of this particular child, the parents travel to US to take care of the child, and then they stay for some time and then come back to India. And as the son grows 6 years old, the son and the father, the communication reduces, and sometimes it also becomes very vague, okay? And the parent dies. Now this son is not able to come for a funeral because he's got one particular, presentation or, to be made for a startup. He made an MOU, a legal agreement, okay? And then he cannot come for the funeral. And if he comes for the funeral, he will be imprisoned for 3 years. His career will be spoiled. Okay. Now, keeping this in mind, he did not come. Now, in this scenario, if you are in this particular place, okay, what are the ethical implications and what are the legal implications in this particular scenario? How would you respond?
Thank you, sir, for asking this particular question. You put me in a painful situation where father death cannot be attended by a child. Sir, but here the father always wanted the son to be good, achieve good in his life. The son, as you mentioned, is having some MOU, and if he does not attend that meeting, he would be imprisoned for 3 years. If the father is alive and he is in a bedridden situation, also if he wanted to see his son, he would suggest his son that complete the meeting. And let me just quote Virat Kohli here. When he wanted to play his match, the crucial match he had, his father was dead there. But he chose that his father always wanted him to achieve good, score well in his career. So he chose to play the match and then attend the funeral. So I would rather support the son to complete this particular meeting, and ask their CEO or whatever to just let him go and pray for his father.
Death is a very important in everyone's life, and it should give utmost respect. In this situation, the son should not can't go to the father's funeral, but my friend said that she said if father he's being living, he should say no. First is the work, then same I would also accept, but he should tell his above officers and ask leave, and as much as possible he should go to his father's funeral.
I feel that rather than attending the funeral, the son should have behaved well and properly with his father when he was alive, and he can't make much good by attending the funeral. He can't erase the past by just attending a funeral. And sir, here comes the ethical idea, utilitarianism, which advocates the positive. If at all positives outweighs the negatives, then we should go for it. And the other thing is, if we have two greater evils, we should choose what is lesser evil. And according to that, sir, and also we can, I would like to come up with an example from medical ethics. For example, sir, two patients are bedridden, two patients are in a need of a kidney because they are in dialysis stage. So one is of 30 years age and other is of 70 years age. Ethics says to provide this kidney to the younger one because she is having the high chance of sustenance. Same goes here, sir, because depending upon him, he might be the sole breadwinner of his family. Depending on upon him is someone called wife and children. So rather than going to his home country and attending funeral, which would result in nothing, like he can't erase the mistakes that would made, rather than doing that, he could recheck his ethics and work for, and should attend that startup company's meeting, so that his wife and his children would have some kind of good living. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for posing this question. And sir, for me, I think the core lies in the bringing up of the child, sir. Because if, as you said, he is from a BTech background and he studied everything, so he's more scientific in in his character, but not social in his character. Because the upbringing of the child, like like if you could see, the father is not inculcated any like values like to him, and the father bond connectedness is missing in this case. He has left US, and again, because of the globalization, the westernization thought has been inculcated in him. So because of this, the traditional values are declining here. So if that father bond and that connectedness would have been there, he would have the son would have definitely find a possible way to attend the funeral of his father. So because on one hand, the father has persuaded him to pursue BTech irrespective of his interest, so that emotional friction is there. So maybe because of this friction, and also the son leaving to US and there adopting the Western philosophy, he has the ethical friction. I mean, the traditional friction is missing here. The traditional connectedness is missing. So for that reason, these are the ethical dilemmas which I feel which are involved. Thank you so much, sir.
Topic is from this LPG impact on the family system. So role of family in inculcating the values, and how the liberalization has influenced the family system. So because of this liberalization, there is a growing consumerism, materialism, and there are middle class hosts. Indian families running behind the dollar dreams and better quality of life. The people are looking for the better quality of life, improved standards of life, and ultimately resulting in the emergence, a breakup of the joint families. So all this is the present scenario. So this scenario is inspired from this movie Mithunam, and also another movie, Pressure Cooker. So this is where the young people are running after the dollar dreams. So the scenario says a middle class family enrolls their son in a BTech course, hoping he will get a job in the US. This is what 90% of the parents in India were thinking. Most of us in such kind of scenarios will blame only the son. But here the person to be blamed is the parent, not the son. So because he was taught to be materialistic right from the childhood by the parents only. So parents have to inculcate that sense of ethicality. So instead, the son gets a campus placement with the US company, but he is not interested in working abroad. Even this is also a condition that you have to consider. And despite his reluctance, the son accepts the job due to the parental pressure. The parents, this movie Pressure Cooker, this kind of situation is seen in the Pressure Cooker, where because of the parental pressure, children wanted to go to US. He moves to the US, get married, and has a child. He took his parents to the US to look after their newborn, and they returned to India after a year. Then initially he maintains regular communication with the parents and visits them annually. Gradually this will come down. However, as the child grows older, around 6 years, he gradually stops communicating with the parents. So when his parents passed away in an accident, both the parents are passed away in an accident, he is unable to attend the funeral. as he has to deliver a project of his startup company. If it is not presented on due date, his entire career will collapse. And there is also a possibility that he will be imprisoned for 3 years for the failure to deliver the project. Even such kind of conditions are also imposed by the American companies. And the question is, what are the ethical and legal issues involved in this case? Not just the ethical, but also the legal. So ethical issues, neglect of filial responsibilities by that particular person. Filial responsibilities are the responsibility to look after the parents. And parents' failure to inculcate the values of life right from the childhood. So the mistake does not lie only on part of the child, of the son, but also on part of the parent as well. And material values take the precedence over the life values in upbringing the children. So because the parents are encouraging the children to go abroad, as if you cannot live in India. Only if you visit abroad and gets a job over there, you can survive. This is all a part of the materialistic aspects. And the legal issues involved. One is the contractual obligation that he has to fulfill in USA to complete the startup project within the specified time. Otherwise, he will be imprisoned for 3 years up to. And there is no question of breaking this MOU. Then you are also supposed to consider the Senior Citizens Act 2007. According to the Senior Citizens Act 2007, if you do not care for your parents, there is again a possibility to impose an imprisonment of 3 years. If you do not care for your parents, 3 years imprisonment is possible. So either way you will be imprisoned, whether you fail to fulfill your obligations for the project, you will be imprisoned 3 years. If you fail to take care of your parents, even that is also a possibility to impose a 3 years imprisonment. So in this situation, what criteria that you will adopt, whether you go by the materialistic needs or you go by the filial responsibilities, this is what you have to decide upon. And that decision, that particular decision, whether to go by the filial responsibilities or go by the agreemental requirements, that will decide whether how much you are ethically right person and how much you are legally correct person. So as I told you always, that there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer in such kind of situations. Because that is what is all ethics all about. But you have to justify your answer, that's all. Justification based on the legal norms that are followed in a particular national culture. National culture means the culture in India. So you are supposed to follow the law, you are supposed to follow the constitutional provisions, and you are supposed to know about all the Civil Service Conduct Rules 1964 and also All India Civil Service Conduct Rules 1968. So if you are thorough with those rules, then automatically your answer will be more justified from that point of view. So these are the 3 scenarios that we discussed today, and you have participated with absolute discipline, and your answers also are very well designed to the requirement of the questions. So from the next week, what we do is, we randomly pick up 4 people, not specified persons, so that every one of you will be prepared on these topics very thoroughly. So if we are picking up only 4 people in advance, only those people are preparing on this. The objective of this program is to make you master in the ethics subject. So from the next week, second unit will be, the second unit will be taken up for the discussion. So scenarios will be given on the same lines, with the scenarios having ethical implications and legal implications with current relevance, as we have discussed today.